Hi all, today we will discuss about a microservice architectures overview. So what all are the microservice architectures while we are developing, what all are the tools and details we need. So all the system design related things we will discuss here. So if you want to develop any microservice based application, so in this applications we have a multiple things we need to consider. One is Docker. So what is Docker? Why we are creating Docker? So Docker, we are creating a Docker image which will be contain a containers. So in this Docker image we need a Docker technology which required we have multiple commands will be there. Through that we can run this Docker image. We will create a containers and all. Then second thing is we have a Kubernetes. So most of the company use Kubernetes. Some of the company will use OpenShift. So these all are the technology. While we are creating a Docker image as a container, so we need to do container orchestration. So for that purpose we have a Kubernetes, Docker Swarm will be there, OpenShift is there, Mass Corp is there. So these all are the things is there. Depends on the company or client, we will use different part. And while we are developing a microservice based applications, we have a different type of technology will be there. Either we have to develop our application based on the Java or Pythons or .NET or Node or any others Golang technology. So the language we need a Java, Pythons, .NET, Node or Golang. Container orchestrations we have a Kubernetes, so or OpenShift or Istio. So for that Kubernetes we have Kubernetes, Docker Swarm is there, OpenShift is there, and Mass Corp is there. For the containers we have a Dockers, and then we need to create a Docker image and all. While we'll go for the messaging brokers, so this asynchronous communications and all, in that cases we have Kafka. So Kafka will use a Kafka event hub or PubSubs technology based we can use a messaging brokers. And while we are developing the applications, we need to monitor and alerting these applications, microservice based application. So for that we have a Prometheus and Kibana will be there. So through that we can, so we have a Grafana will be there, Kibana will be there, and Prometheus will be there. So through that we can monitor our applications which we have developed and alerting. So what all are the alerts is happening, how we can monitor and track the applications and all. So these things. And then we have a Jenkins. So if you want to trace or distributed tracings to analyze the logs or something, so for that internal if any issues is coming in microservice, so how we will alert or trace this application. So through that we have a Jenkins is there. So Jenkins and opens telemetry is there. So depends on the different technologies are there which is required for these services to distribute and tracing the logs. And if you want to secure your microservices, then we have a security. So we have a multiple type of securities. So we have JWT security is there, HashCorp is there, encryption is there, and then credentials management is there. So these all are the auth is there, Okta is there. So like that we can have multiple open securities there. So through that we can enable our microservice as a secure. Now coming for the database, if you need the database to use that microservices, we have a two type of database. One is SQL database and NoSQL database. So SQL will have a relational database like Oracle, MySQL and Postgres. And NoSQLs will have a MongoDB, Cassandra, HBase and any others. Then we have API management. So in API management, to manage this API, how we have multiple microservices API will be there that we can manage. So if you want to manage, then we have a different type of things is there, like run scope is there, and then we have MuleSoft is there and Swagger is there. So most populous we are using Swagger, then we have run scope, MuleSoft is there. That all also depends on the trending technology. The second thing is we have a cloud providers. While we develop the applications, where we do to deploy this applications, so what all are the cloud platforms we have to use. So depends on the requirement of the client's perspective. So either we can use AWS or we can go for the Azure or any others, GCP, Google Cloud Service. So these all are the things is there. Now the next thing is like service migration. So if you want to migrate the service of microservices, depends on the client requirement or some requirement. In that cases we have a Eureka, consumers, zookeepers and all will be there. Through that we can do for the service registry uh, uh, and change the service applications details and all, so that users can know about the service details. And then we have a load balancer. So if your microservice having multiple use request is coming simultaneously, so that how we will balance this load. So through that we have ribbons is there and others will be there, so zookeepers and all. And then we have application gateway. So while we are using application gateway, then we have Kong API. Through that we can go for this application gateway. Now if you want to do the cache, to enable this caches in your applications, then we have a Redis caches and others is there, we can use for that. So these all are the Hazelcast caches and all. So these all are the things we are using for this microservices architectures while we are developing. We can say microservices roadmap also. So while we are developing microservices, what all are the component or technology or tools we have to consider to develop. So we have a Docker as a container, Kubernetes as a container orchestration, language is a Java or any others, Kafka as a messaging brokers, and then Prometheus, Kibana and all is Grafana and all for monitoring and alerting. Jenkins is used for this distribution tracing. JWT is for the security, and database SQL NoSQL Mongo is for the database. API management for this Swagger and all. And then we have a cloud provider either AWS and any other. Then service registration we can go for this Netflix Eureka service registry. Load balances we have a ribbons and all. Application gateway we can go for the Kong and all. And then caching we can go for the Redis caches and all. So these things we have to consider while we are developing any applications, that things we have to take care about this. So please take this as a important topics and architectures while we are developing applications. Thank you.